Alrighty, so today we're going to learn how to run a one-way analysis of variance, also known as an ANOVA. And this type of analysis is used to determine whether there are any statistically significant differences between the means of three or more independent, unrelated groups. So these are groups that don't have any relation to one another. And like I said before, there's at least three, so a minimum of three groups. You can compare three or more. So an example of this kind of study would be if you wanted to understand whether exam performance differed based on test anxiety levels amongst students, and you could divide students into three independent groups, so students with low test anxiety, medium test anxiety, and high test anxiety. And then you would run an ANOVA to see if there was a statistically significant difference between the low, medium, and high stress students and how they perform on exams. So for today's study, we're going to look at business startup costs and whether there's a difference, a statistically significant difference among the means between a pizza startup business, a bakery, a shoe store, a gift shop, and a pet store. So to run this analysis, you're going to click Analyze, and then you'll go to Compare Means, and then from there you're going to go to a one-way ANOVA, and you're going to move the variables from the left side over to the right by clicking and highlighting one. So startup cost is going to be our dependent variable, and we're going to send that over this way. And then we're going to take businesses, this type of business, and put it into the factor, also known as the independent variable. So from here, an ANOVA is neat because it tests whether there's a difference, but it doesn't tell you which specific groups were statistically significant since there's always three or more. And so in order to figure out which two groups were different, you'd need to run a post hoc test. So this is a test that's going to compare each of the groups on different levels. So to do this, you would select post hoc, and you're going to click Tukey, and then you're going to click Continue, and then you'll hit Options, and we want to see descriptive statistics, and you're going to collect, let's see, homogeneity of variance test, also known as Levine's test. So you're going to click that one too, and then we're going to click Continue, and from here you're going to hit OK. And after you hit OK, the output should pop up. So the output is where all your answers are. So this is exactly what you want it to look like after you've run the ANOVA analysis. So you're probably wondering what all these boxes are because there's a ton. So the first one is going to go over your descriptive statistics. So what this tells you, the number of startup businesses that we had for pizza businesses, and then we go to bakeries, shoe stores, gift shop, pet stores, and then at the very bottom you hit the total. So this is the total number of participants in this data set. So across here you have the number that was included in the study. You've got the mean for example, pizza, business startup costs. You have the standard deviation, and then the rest of the descriptive statistics in here. So that'll be important when you go to write up a results section. So it gives you each of those, and then the bottom one is the total. So this is the total for all of the businesses put together. And now when you get to this next box, test of homogeneity of variance, you can see that it meets the assumption, so it's not significant. So in this one, you don't want the number to be significant in order to continue, because that means you're good to go. So this has been met here, and then we're going to go into our ANOVA box. So this will tell us whether there was a statistically significant difference between the 5 different startup businesses that we ran. And to find that, you're going to look at the significant column right over here. And again, in order for it to be statistically significant, it has to be at a 0.05 or lower. So you can see right here between the groups there is a significant difference somewhere because we've got a 0.018. So since we ran the post hoc test, you can see that there's a bunch of numbers right here, and basically what this means is that it took each individual business and compared it to the 4 other ones. So if you look here, you can see pizza and bakery, pizza and shoe store, pizza and gift shop, and pizza and pet store. And you can see where there's a statistical difference. So it shows that there's nothing right here. And if we go down a little bit further, there's one actually right here. So you can see that there is a statistically significant difference between the bakery startup cost and the pet store because we have a 0.024, which is lower than 0.05. If we make our way down, these ones aren't statistically significant. Nothing here. And again, we have that bakery and pet store match right here. So you can see that that was the relationship after running all 5 of the groups that was statistically significant. So you would only be able to know that if you ran the post hoc test, which is why it's important to make sure that when you're running the analysis, you go in and click that box to see where the comparisons lie and which groups are significant. And so yeah, that's how you run an ANOVA analysis. And that is the end of our video for today.